Well, and I think you laid out very well that it wasn't a rash decision that day to send the shuttle up. It was this creeping shift of risk that, oh, well, this was okay, and oh, this didn't work great, but then it was still fine. And it seemed like it was creeping risk that finally caught up to them, just sheer numbers and kind of creeping risk as opposed to one really bad decision that day.
Right, that's exactly right. It's what the sociologist Diane Vaughan, who wrote this massive book that is just called The Challenger Launch Decision, which analyzes why that part of it happened. She calls that the normalization of deviance, which is where essentially you just get comfortable with an expanding level of risk over a long period of time. And so it's not as if you're being reckless in the moment. It would take an outsider to come in and say, wait a minute, don't you see what's going on here? Over the last 2 years, you've gradually accepted more and more dangerous deviations from what you initially regarded as your engineering standards. And now you're in the situation where you're obviously doing something that's dangerous. I mean, they certainly were reckless ultimately, but they weren't being consciously reckless. It's understandable. So although there are clear villains who emerge from that part of the story, I think that it's important not to, dwell too much in having 20/20 hindsight about something like that. It's more, in the moment, it was much more complicated than that.